Alright, so how y'all doing, boys? Hope you're doing well. Now in today's video, we once again have a return of the Tower of Trials, which I honestly thought like quite a while ago that this event was completely ending. I thought they were just going to keep, refurbing and re-adding new stages to the newer version of Tower of Trials, but definitely glad to see that it's still here. Honestly, some are just the best rewards. Obviously, we do have the other version refresh I think it's every month or so now, which is alright, but having this just come out and being able to collect all these rewards, like, it's a nice amount of Super Awakening materials to say the least. But I've gone ahead, I've built up a team. This team isn't anything super genius. I literally just went ahead and chucked some of the best units on the team and figured we'd run through this. It's kind of late where I am, and I mean, I actually really enjoyed the Tower of Trials videos. Are honestly some of my favorite videos to make, because I'm not like trying to showcase any unit in particular. I'm not trying to get anyone to do really well. I suppose it's more of like a chill video. I don't have to really talk about or explain anything. It's nothing informative, but I mean, let me know what you guys think of these videos. Definitely some of my favorites to make. But what is there to talk about in Grand Cross at the moment? I mean, we did of course have I think the update's actually gone live. Actually, of course it's gone live. We're playing the new content of the update, but I really expected, especially with the whole fact that, the JP and the global version are now synced up now, which I'm guessing is what happened. We have had another update happen on where I am. It's Thursday where JP has their update, but we have had another update. I think it was when Trader Meliodas released. That very update was on the JP update day, which we all thought that was going to be the two versions syncing up, but then the very next week they removed that, and I thought them syncing it up again would be, we would finally go ahead and get Skadi. It's, they had the Sorrow release on the JP version, and then, we thought we were going to get Sorrow the very next week and we'd be caught up, and then they just gave us that dead week for absolutely no reason, and then they did the same for Skadi. Honestly, in my opinion, humongous global shaft. Like, unless there's some big festival character coming out and, everyone should be expected to save for them, I don't really understand why you're giving us so much time to save gems. I know it's not expected for you, like, a game to release content every week, but I mean, the JP version is doing it. You can just copy and paste into the files, and like, what was the last good unit? I think, yeah, the last good unit we've had has been Meliodas. The last unit should really summon for it all would be him. We've had a couple weeks now to save. Granted, not enough for a festival character, but usually when those big collaborations or like big events happen, big festivals happen, they do usually give out a couple of gems and have a bunch of events and ways to claim them regardless. You also get quite a few weeks to actually summon on the banner, although, you might not be able to get the character when they're the very week that they're the new hot thing. You'll definitely be able to get them sometime, or even not then. It is unfortunate when you don't always get the character you want straight away, but you'll get them eventually. I still have to get quite a few dupes for my king. My king's only 3-6 and my Trader Meliodas is 4-6. The King banner did me absolutely dirty. So goddamn unfortunate. I literally went, like, my whole first rotation, didn't get anything. In the second rotation, I think within the first 100 gems, I got a king, and then didn't get anything again until I got all the way up to the guaranteed. So, hoping no banner does me like that ever again in Grand Cross. I always seem to get lucky on just like the random side banners, even if it's not like particularly getting the new unit, having just like a really good SSR ratio, or just like getting side characters, which I feel like at this point as well, I have pretty much gotten all of the side characters in the general pool. Like, it's getting to the point now where, like, after every summons I do, I'll like look at like the SSR coin shop and just everyone says like maxed out. So it's a nice feeling being able to use those characters for Super Awakening, since the Super Awakening mechanic is so hard to get. Like, it's such a heavy investment for a character. Like, looking at it now, back in the day, you used to like level 60 a character, give them their 5 stars and that was done. Look, now you have to give them Uagia, Super Awakening, Holy Relics if they have them. Like, there's a lot more, all the way up to level 90. Like, you know how many different demons that is, Howlex, all that other kind of stuff, but I don't know. I feel like it isn't still like it isn't too much yet. And that's this part I'm like super scared about, is this game is growing so fast, and like it being a PvP game, there is going to be, new characters very often, and there is going to be a whole bunch of power creep that's going to happen very fast. I just hope the game doesn't outgrow itself, but I suppose that's why they've gone ahead and made is it 7 Deadly Sins Origin? They had the trailer release, probably like a week ago now, which I'm honestly super hyped. At first glance, should I say, I was like, damn, this looks really good, obviously, like a Genshin Impact or like a Breath of the Wild kind of open world game. I was kind of hoping they didn't make it a gacha game, only because I just don't want to have to spend money on more games, but I honestly reckon if they do, especially with how much Netmarble have learned, I feel, from Grand Cross, they can honestly make the game so insanely good. And like, yes, I know Netmarble can be a fairly greedy company, we all know that. I feel like, who knows, they might pull it all. They could have an absolutely flawless game. Honestly, Grand Cross is one of the better gacha games ever. Like, I actually saw someone on Twitter, and I think like a couple of people actually tweeted about it. Someone who like played the game for a very short time, they had like under 2 mil box CC, or like 2 mil box CC around that point, beating floor 3 of Hasvalga, which is absolutely absurd to me. Like, they'd invested in all the right units, they'd obviously know what they were doing. Like, not like they'd played the game before, but they'd watched content and they'd like, you know, they obviously cared and like enjoyed the game a lot. And I just found it crazy that like someone who's free to play and had played the game for that little time can do the most difficult content in the game. Like, let's take Dokkan Battle for example. If you're a free to play player, ain't no way you can beat all of the stages of Extreme Super Battle Road. Like, that is just not happening in any reality. There's some games you just have to spend so much money on. Like, some games gacha systems can be so expensive. Fate Grand Order for example, and some systems just don't even have a pity system. Like, yes, you could go ahead and say Dokkan has a pity system, but having to spend something like, I think it's like 50 multis just to get enough coins to buy the unit, and then you can't even buy the unit till the next time around. Like, there's no way of actually guaranteeing yourself the unit on their release. Like, if you just have the worst luck ever, you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars without getting, which is honestly why 7 Deadly Sins is so good. Like, well, I know this is still a lot of money to ask for, but if you just go from 0 gems, if you just buy like 2 of the $100 bundles, that's enough to guarantee yourself the character. If you want to go to that extent, by all means do so. But they give out like, what, 60 gems every week from PvP, and like, once we're finally caught up with JP, we're gonna have an update every 2 weeks. Like, that's 120 gems from PvP in itself, and it's not like you're gonna have a character every week you want to summon for. I just feel like the game's really well, like, super generous, really good PvP system, especially. Don't get me wrong, I don't like the game an awful lot. The Grand Cross I'm not talking about here, I'm more talking about Dragon Ball Legends. The PvP system in that game is, I'm not trying to bag out Dragon Ball Legends, I'm just not the biggest fan. Like, the PvP in that game is just, I initially loved the PvP and then they ended up changing it a whole bunch, and once again, yeah, just not the biggest fan. I am a really big fan of PvE content in games as well, which I feel like Grand Cross does really well. This tower system, absolutely amazing. I feel like they have dropped the ball just a little bit, a couple times with Final Boss. I don't know why they added all those ones where you can't actually get any skins, or I don't know, there's a couple things here and there. I feel like the hell difficulty as well could have been just like a tiny bit more difficult, but I mean, hey, they can always just one day go and add another difficulty. Let's just say they add sometime within the next like 6 months, they had a purgatory difficulty, and then that is just by far the hardest thing anyone's ever seen. Like, that's super interesting, and like, they release festivals at a really good rate. I don't know, I really like Grand Cross. I'm a huge ad for the game, obviously. I make content on the game. There we go. I mean, is there an awful lot everything to talk about in this video? Not really. How many stages? This is still 25 stages. I suppose it's pretty much just going to be a speed run whilst I just talk about random stuff, but other than that, there isn't like, I haven't really played a whole lot of other games as of recent. I do play like a little bit of Apex here and there. Other than that, I would like to play just like a tiny bit more Minecraft. I've like had a look at the new update, and like it is something I'd like to spend just like a little bit of time on, but I don't know, just other games like that here and there. We do have Breath of the Wild 2 probably releasing. If you guys haven't played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, easily my top 3 games of all time, up there with like another game, a game you might not have heard of, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate for Wii U and on the 3DS as well. That game, my favorite game of all time. But Breath of the Wild, if you haven't played it, 100% recommend it. We might be having 2 release sometime in November this year, which is ages away, and I'd definitely like to try and 100%, or at least do another playthrough in that time. Then again, there's just so many games I just haven't played. I'd really like to. I've purchased, really like to try out The Witcher. I really want to try out the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Really want to go ahead and try out God of War now that it's on PC as well. I really want to finish Doom. So many games that I just don't have the time to get around to, and like, I don't know. It is what it is. Let's see here though. Can we one-turn this Roxy as well? I feel like we've been pretty much just absolutely mopping everything with King. I might have actually been a little bit better to have gone ahead and used the Kyo instead of Meliodas, just to increase the amount of AoE damage we're using. Meliodas is just kind of standing around and looking pretty. I prefer him over the King, you know, just the single target cards are just so much fun. And King's just been hitting non-stop millies this whole video, goddamn. I might actually go ahead. I feel like I've rambled on quite a bit here. I might go ahead and just skip to when we're doing all of the boss phases. So go ahead, do 14, 15, 19, 20, and then 24, 25. But if you guys have actually made it this far through the video and you've just listened to me ramble about random stuff, let me know if you like this content, because I'm still undecided on exactly I want to do for Tower of Trials, because most of the time I just do the boss battles. But if you guys would like to see me do just a whole thing where I just talk about random stuff, by all means let me know. I would really like to live stream this content, but I'm in Australia and the internet's just terrible here. But I'll catch you guys when we're on to the next boss fight. And it's stage 14 already. I mean, it only took for me to actually like go ahead and work through these stages whilst not talking to realize just how quickly we go through them. And I feel like, especially as of recent, they haven't really like tuned up the difficulty in, like, I know all of these Tower of Trials are kind of like reruns and they're not meant to be anything difficult. They're more meant for like, they drop them when big festivals are happening, along with like the, you know, welcome to the game events, or like welcome back, where they have like, you know, the banners and you can get a whole bunch of free stuff, but kind of just for stuff, you know, free rewards to be able to kind of work through. I mean, I'm not complaining. If the game wants to give me free Super Awakening materials and stuff on those lines, I will 100% take them. But at this point, I'm pretty much just building up my box. You see, I've been working over here and there. I didn't realize just how slow it is. I've pretty much every single character in my box has SSR gear, and it's all +5. No stars, but at this point, I'm just going ahead and working on putting 2 stars on all the belts. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the orbs, and 2 stars on the braces, then rings, and then probably 3 star and then 4 star the belts. You get where I'm going at, and then finally do the defense pieces. But I feel like that's pretty much like, obviously Super Awakening materials isn't something I can grind, so don't have to worry about that. But just the sheer amount of redstones you need and the just straight up Awakening materials, it is going to be a long grind. And I mean, it's something I should have started ages ago. I don't know why, I just haven't been doing it in the meantime. But now that they've released just such a high amount of like box CC that you need in order to reach the peak, I'm definitely really motivated to actually like start working on it. Just shy of that 8 million as well, which will be, I think, the next milestone. Honestly, won't increase the HP like a whole lot, but when it comes to me just showcasing random PvP teams with characters I haven't invested an awful lot into, it'll at least help out having just a tiny bit of extra CC. It actually happened. I'm not sure if I'll post this or the Escanor showcase first, but I would like just a little bit more CC in that team, just a little bit more damage even, but he still showcased really well. Here we go, jumping in at stage 20 here, and yeah, still absolutely just tearing through this tower. If you guys do, of course, have any video suggestions, whether that's like PvP teams, just like general videos as well, even guides at this point, like, I don't know how many newcomers are still coming to the game. The game has been out for what, just shy of 3 years on the Japanese version, but if there are of course still people out there that like want me to do stuff like a demon guide, I know there's like a fair few out there, and I think Nug actually went ahead and did like a best team for all demons pretty recent. I'd be fine with doing stuff like that, because although I have started making content on the game fairly, no, not super late, but like fairly late into the game's lifespan, I would definitely like to get some more content like that, because pretty much the whole time I've been playing, it's been like PvP showcases and then stuff like final bosses, Tower of Trials, more of those bigger kind of events. I haven't actually been able to do like an awful lot of tutorials and stuff like that, but that's right, I will definitely be obviously making videos when 7 Deadly Sins Origin comes out, so definitely expect me to make content on that, that's for sure. And here we go on the final stretch on stage 24, but before you guys actually go ahead and say anything, yes, I know I did accidentally miss stage 19. I was just on autopilot, just like mashing cards, and didn't even realize I honestly would have gone through stage 20 as well if like my brain just hadn't clicked into focus. It's late, alright, but here we go. I mean, once again, Tower of Trials, just even with the ease it's at, still just continuing to be my favorite PvE content in the game. But here's one question I wanted to ask, but if you guys have actually, if any of you have played the Pokemon's Legend Arceus, let me know what you think on it, because I was definitely also looking to go ahead and purchase that and maybe sink some hours into that as well. It's honestly been ages. I think the last Pokemon game I played actually was on the DS. I went ahead and did another playthrough of Pokemon Diamond, I think it was. Yeah, it would have been Pokemon Diamond, so it's been a hot minute since I played that, but once again, still just have so many games that just do not have enough time to play. But onto the final stage, what pretty much two-turned everything up until this point. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Let's see, loading into this final stage. Can the away just by herself? Hey, yeah, hold on. Surely we can get an extra melee single target. Ah, rip. I mean, can I just get rid of you with just melee? Surely not, right? 1, 2, and 3. I reckon if we had to go to melee single target card, it'd be 100%. Yo, never mind. She is actually tanking really well. Look at that. The AoE does just as much damage as a single target. Honestly, I'm so glad they added this trade melee to the game with, like, here's Mages the Bird raid. So much funner for me. And I actually went ahead and made a bird video. At this point, it was probably like 2 or 3 days ago. Super glad I finally got around to that, and really hoping I actually, like, have what it takes and can just go through the pain and suffering of actually beating floor 3 of the new Demonic Beast battle when it drops on Global, which hopefully is either next week or the week after, knowing the pace we've been at. But I would definitely like to do a video, of course doing stage 1, but even just showing my attempts at stage 2 and 3 as well. I think that'd be pretty interesting. But there we go, and that is it, the brand new Tower of Trials, or at least it's a rerun. It hasn't got any names like Special Disaster Tower of Trials or anything along those lines. There you go, your nice complete stream. Congratulations, you've conquered the event Tower of Trials. So I suppose that's what they're labeling, but I mean, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Of course, something a little different here, not like a super important video by any means, but if you guys have stuck around to the end, hope you enjoyed. Please hit like button, subscribe, really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.